Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IdiotSpeak podcast number 8, part 3.
Tres. Ocho tres.
On this edition of podcast 8, it's all episode 8, but we're going to talk about the other publishers that announced games at E3.
More notably, Square Enix, Ubisoft, Electronic Arts, or EA Games. Nobody knows them as Electronic Arts. And Bethesda, yeah, how can I forget that one? Dear Lord. So, I guess first we'll start off with Square Enix. Scott, what caught your mind on good old Square Enix?
The only thing that had my attention for Square Enix is the new Deus Ex. I'm a huge fan of the earlier ones, especially Human Revolution. I thought that was really good. And I like that they're continuing the story of Adam Jensen from Human Revolution into this game. I can't remember how long in the future they said this one's going to be, but it's obviously it's kind of like within a very short time span of the first one, so it's basically the same world. And I know the themes from Deus Ex 3 are going to still be there, like the whole augmented humans versus anti-augmented humans, and I don't know. I really like the story with 3, and I thought the gameplay was amazing. So I'm very curious of what they're going to do with it, and that's pretty much the only thing Square Enix had for me.
I'm very big into Kingdom Hearts. I haven't played any of the side games, I guess you could say. Like, they had that card game, and they had some other stuff that came out Kingdom Hearts related, like on the 3DS and stuff like that. Or the Vita, I don't remember. But I'm excited for an actual Kingdom Hearts game where you're playing as Sora, which is the main character again. I thought the preview for it was very interesting because it's two characters talking about the Keyblade Wars, which are something that has been talked about in all these different games, but they really haven't gone into the Keyblade Wars. So I'm wondering if maybe we're finally going to take step into that war and see actually what happened, because it does show the original Keyblade that it was either Sora or, oh dear Lord, I'm forgetting the silver-haired kid's name. But one of their Keyblades was like mounted in a church type setting somewhere. So I'm wondering if they're going to kind of hark back to that kind of stuff. Because I know you play as the original character, Sora, Donald, Goofy, and then it looks like you're going to have interactions in the same type of places, because I saw a lot of familiar enemies that were from the first and second game. So I'm very excited for Kingdom Hearts.
Now, set me straight here, because I actually have zero idea. I did not watch too much of the Square Enix. I kind of just picked and chose what I wanted to see. What is... I know there's 2 Kingdom Hearts games announced, right?
What do you mean?
I have notes here. I have Kingdom Hearts Unchained and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, Unchained is supposed to be like their portable version of it, from what I understand. Okay. Right. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be the actual continuation. Yeah. So, at least that's what I got out of it.
Okay, and that makes sense. That's I get that. What else? Was there anything else from Square Enix that got your attention?
They did talk about the world of Final Fantasy, which looked very interesting to me. It almost looked like a mobile game.
Well, it had a very chibi, like, just...
Well, your main characters are chibis running around, but then they transform into regular characters, which I thought was really odd. The only thing that I got out of that was maybe... your sprites, like the chibi sprites, are what you move around with, but then once you go into an area or once you go into a fight, then you become the full character.
Okay, I could see that.
Kind of like how 7 and all that is, you know, you're running around until you get in a fight, and then all of a sudden you're more defined and all that kind of stuff.
I could see them doing something like that. That might be more interesting. I don't know, just like the chibi art style kind of turned me off on it, but...
Well, and this kind of... brought me to there's a mobile game out there right now. It's been out since April, and it's called Record Keeper. Final Fantasy Record Keeper. Me that, and I have that on my phone, and it seems very similar to that. Only the difference being, instead of pulling in these characters from all these other Final Fantasies to go and play in their own worlds, you're going to be pulling all these characters to go play in a made-up world that this new world that these two brother and sister or whatever they are going to play in. So it seems very similar to that. Like I said, at first I really thought it was a mobile game. Then they kind of said it's not going to be. It's going to be actually on the PlayStation 4, I believe. So I'm interested to see what they do with it, whether it's going to be turn-based or what it's going to be. It looks like you recruit different animals and stuff like that to fight with you, different summons as well as different animals that you can kind of manage. So I don't know. It looks like an interesting concept. I just don't know how much behind it I'm going to be until I get more information on it.
Yeah, that was kind of the look that it had to me. Like, I'm not a huge Final Fantasy person. There's a few here and there that I played. I remember when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, this doesn't look like a modern day Final Fantasy game.
No, they're not going for like best looking graphics. They're not looking for these. Usually in Final Fantasy, it's such an open world, and the graphics of the world are amazing. It looks like it's focused more on like, hey, you can bring back Squall and play with Squall as somebody,
Yeah, I mean, to kind of compare it to something, I almost had like a Wind Waker vibe to me. It's just like,
kind of.
It wasn't what I was looking for in graphics and all that, but it still could be a really fun game.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, back when 1, 2, 3, all the way up to really 6 of the Final Fantasies, I mean, I wasn't playing those games looking for graphics. I was looking for the gameplay and how they play. So, I mean, maybe that's what they're focused on, is giving us another, kind of like 9 was. When they did 7 and 8, when they came out with 9 was like we've gotten so far away from what originally made us great. Let's make 9 as a hark back. It'll be like Final Fantasy 3 play, but it'll be 9 in the series.
That makes sense. Yeah. Anything else from Square Enix?
Nothing that I can think of.
Alright, let's move on to Ubisoft. Well, very exciting news. We actually have a title on the Wii U. It's called Just Dance, and I'm real excited.
Just Dance.
I love the title Ubisoft is supporting the Wii U's dance games. On the more actual serious note, I'm excited about South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Yeah, have you? You haven't played the first one, have you?
No. What was it? The Stick of Destiny or Stick of Truth?
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth. Stick of Destiny.
It played amazing.
Well, from what I've seen of it, it looked just like the show.
It was. It was basically like putting yourself into the show,
which is perfect.
Oh my god, it was great. The lines that you would get out of people, the different choices that you would make that would influence different things. Like, I found myself wanting to replay it multiple times to choose different things. Like, how bad can I piss off Cartman before he just fucking goes off on me? I mean, like, I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this game. And it looks like they're picking up right where they left off with this one.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Like, when I first saw Stick of Truth, I mean, it looked like it was an interactable episode of the show.
Yeah.
And, like, this is just a continuation of that, and that's exactly what they needed to do, and that's... I'm hoping it's going to be really good.
I'm curious to see what different class, because like in the first one, you had like your basic classes, your warrior, your all this other stuff, and then it was like this big thing. They had a Jew class, because Cartman hates Jews so much. So I'm curious to see like what other classes they come up with, to see if maybe we've got some weird, interesting powers that are going to upset some people, like they always do.
Oh yeah. I think the only other thing from Ubisoft that I'm interested in is just to see if they mess up Assassin's Creed Syndicate and make some kind of game-breaking bug that everyone's going to make fun of them for.
Like you jump off a building into another building and you're actually in the building for some reason?
Or like you go and jump off a building and you just fly. Like you never actually like...
I believe I can fly.
You never actually descend. You just like kind of stay at the peak height, and then you can just fly around the map.
Well, it'd be interesting because the diving cinematic, when you do that, you kind of like throw your hands back. It would look really neat flying like that. You kind of look like a plane.
So you're like almost like a horizontal T-pose.
Yes.
But yeah, I like how with this game we're actually, instead of like talking about what could be in the game, we're talking about what kind of bugs this game could have.
Yeah, I'm just not excited for another Assassin's Creed. I'm just not.
I'm not either. I think we talked about that in the last edition, but
yeah.
Yeah, so what about EA? Was there anything on EA that looked good to you?
Besides Battlefront? That's the only thing I was interested in.
Before we talk about Battlefront, Mirror's Edge, I think, looks really good. I like what they're doing with it. I really did enjoy the first game, and I'm glad that they're actually bringing it back because, I mean, it was kind of a small game. It didn't have a huge following. I know there's a cult following to the game, but I mean, it's not a blockbuster game.
Well, and I believe when it was made just to be made. It wasn't made like thinking like, oh, this is going to bring us a lot. This gameplay is amazing and all this other stuff. It was kind of like, oh, okay, here's this game. You know, it's got interesting concepts and stuff to it, and people really kind of drew themselves to it. It was a very interesting concept for a game, and people connected with it. They wanted to play it more and more.
Exactly. So I am very glad to see that it's actually continuing. They're still making Mirror's Edge games, and I'm very curious to see what this one's going to be like. I know there's also there's the new Mass Effect game. I was not a huge fan of the Mass Effect. I only played Mass Effect 2. And I got through most of it, and then I got to these missions where you're like drilling for minerals, and then I just got bored and never went back.
Yeah, I have friends that are obsessed with the Mass Effect games. Yeah. They like all the choices, the who you can be with, who you can't be with, how many times can you have sex with this character, different things like that.
Yeah, and I know that is something that actually the game is really cool about, is that it is extremely dependent on your choices. Like, certain characters do live or die, and that continues through the, like, it will read your old save file from the first game. Like, okay, this character died in your game here, so they're not going to be in this game. That's neat. Not a lot of games do that.
Yeah, I do like that it's a continuation
of your story.
Yeah,
and it's your individual story. Everybody's story is going to be a little. I mean, I'm sure the main story arcs are all the same, but like your individual experiences do continue. Like I know Telltale did that with the Walking Dead series and all that, but this is just one of the first examples that I knew of it, and I thought it was an interesting concept. So I'm curious if I have no idea if there's going to be any way of that, because I know the last Mass Effect was on 360 and PS3 and all that, and the new one's on the new console. So I don't know if there's any way. I don't know what the story on this game is. I don't know if it continues.
Well, and I think it's weird that it's not numbered.
Well, yeah, I guess it's the
Mass Effect Andromeda. So is it a new storyline?
Is it a new trilogy? Yeah, that's true. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'll check it out. But I don't know if I'll actually end up picking it up.
I might pick it up later, depending.
But to me, the big game from EA was Battlefront.
Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
Oh, that too.
Actually, I do like playing that game. It's a very time-consuming game. I don't like it on my Xbox or anything like that, but on my phone, I'll sit there and do that for a little while.
Yeah, that's
an interesting concept.
That's right. No, I thought it was fun. I wasn't clamoring for a sequel, but
no, I like it.
Yeah. But no, serious answer is Battlefront.
Yeah,
I think the game looks amazing. I really think that I'm really going to want to pick this up.
Well, if you're not excited about Battlefront, then you probably aren't a gamer, because like just being honest, I mean, to most gamers love Star Wars, okay,
or a good majority,
a very, very good majority. And I'm sure I'll get someone and be like, no, I hate them, I hate Star Wars, I hate everything about it. But honestly, I mean, if you're a gamer, you have at least an appreciation for Star Wars, and you can appreciate how this game is built and everything, and how great it looks.
Yeah, I remember a few months back they showed some like tech demo versions of it. It didn't look too great. I remember like the internet exploded with like, oh, this game's gonna be terrible. EA's ruined this game. This game is just crap. Just throw it away. We don't even want it. And then we see this showing, and it just looked amazing. I was blown away by how good it looked. I knew it was going to look better than the tech demo that they were showing or that was going around on the internet, but I did not expect it to look this good, and it's exactly what I would want in a Star Wars style game.
Yeah.
Like, it just was the Star Wars game that I was hoping it would be.
Yeah, and I'm very interested to see how they do the leveling up system, the classes, who you can do, what you can do, all that stuff. Who you can
I was going to say,
that was a bad...
we're going back to Mass Effect here. But
who you can be... would be what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But, different stuff like that, and who you can interact with. Is there going to be characters in the game that you can interact with that are going to be familiar to you? Like, you're going to find Lando somewhere, something like that.
Yeah, the level of, like, celebrity characters or heroes or whatever you want to call them.
I don't even know what you would call it, but yeah.
I think in Battlefront 2, they were heroes and villains or something like that. That's curious who all is going to actually be in it. And, I don't think they showed gameplay as you being a Jedi during E3?
Not during E3. I have seen some lightsaber duel. I don't remember where the heck I seen it. You were in a forest.
Well, I saw it in the trailer. Like, there was Luke and Vader lightsabers clashing in a trailer. But I didn't. That didn't look like actual gameplay. That just looked like, hey, this is for the trailer shot.
No, I had seen some gameplay somewhere where you were a Jedi in the forest.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't seen anything like that. So
maybe you were a Sith. I don't remember.
I would be curious to see how that would work.
It looked very interesting. The part that I seen, it looked very flawless. It looked very smooth, and that there wasn't a whole lot of errors and stuff like that. The fighting looked generic. So I'm very, very excited to see what you can do with it. I wonder if, like, it would be interesting if you had to start as a Jedi to become a Sith. I've always wanted that, because that's how it has to be in general.
So if the game actually has some sort of a story mode,
yeah, like, don't you have to start as a Jedi to become a Sith, and then based on how you go into these battles and who you choose to side with would be...
that you're almost getting into, like, Star Wars Unleashed, which I know you never actually fully become a Jedi.
No, but all right, the first battle you're classified as a Jedi, but there's going to be a choice somewhere in there. Yeah, like, there's two sides you have to decide who to go with.
Do you capture this person, or do you kill them, or something like that?
And if you let your rage win, then you're a Sith. It's got to be something along those lines.
Rage win.
But then that way there's only, it narrows down who you can be until you get through that first battle. There's only Jedi, Trooper, Mercenary, something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the story's going to be that involved. It might be, but, the other two weren't. It was just...
Well, in this game, I know, usually I'm the story guy. I'm not concerned about the story in this one, because this game is built around another story.
Right. I just want to recreate famous Star Wars battles. That's all I want to do. Like, I don't care if I'm Stormtrooper number 43. I just want to go out and be that Stormtrooper and be a part of that famous battle that was amazing from the movie.
Right.
And do my own version of it. That's kind of what the other two games did, and they did them really well, so I'm hoping... And it looks like that's what this is going to be. I know Battlefront 2 did have somewhat of a story mode where you were a member of this battalion and you had to go to these different planets. It was more just like a glorified, like, hey, there's a reason why this battle's taking place. But it would be kind of cool to have a story mode, but, like, the main mode is just the online multiplayer.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to have different call-ins. Like, it'd be cool if you were a Jedi, you could call Han to do a drop or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe use them as, like, if you find this character, like, they're hidden. And if you, like, find a communicator that talks to Han Solo, now all of a sudden, now you can call in airstrikes or something.
Well, yeah, they could, something like from Call of Duty, where, like, you get enough of a kill streak.
Yeah.
Call in Han or somebody to do a, some kind of a strike,
right?
Like pick an area, and they attack there, and you can either sneak in or help that.
That'd be really cool, because, like, if you found the Emperor's one for some reason, you could do execute Order 66, and it causes the enemy, half of the enemy, to turn on the other half.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be awesome. Or even like a smaller percentage, but that would be really neat. Like, execute Order 60, and you just hear that, and all of a sudden people turn on each other and they become your allies.
Well, that would only work if you were doing, again, like, computer controlled, because, like, multiplayer people is, I'm not doing that. or like their vision, the enemy, like, turns, like, something like that. That would be kind of cool.
They lose a third of their troops and you gain a third more, or something like that.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. But
we might be dreaming.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Anything else from EA?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, there was nothing else that really had my interest. Now, I think the big one for the both of us we'll talk about is Bethesda.
Heck yeah.
And I've got to say, just as an old G4 X-Play fan.
Yeah.
Seeing Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb doing the pre-show was amazing. Awesome. I watched the Bethesda conference the next day, and I knew very little about it. I knew some of the things that had been announced, but I didn't know really any of the details. So I turned it on, and they're sitting in the chairs, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times you watch these things and like you might know of the person talking, like who they are in the hierarchy of that company or whatever, but you don't know that face. You don't know anything like that. Like to have Bethesda be like, no, we're going to go grab people that people know
exactly
to talk about these things.
And I said it was just kind of like that throwback to, like, I remember when I was in high school, I would come home and turn on the TV, watch X-Play.
Yeah.
A couple episodes of X-Play and then go off and do whatever. But, like, I haven't been able to do that for years. And to finally have them back together and talking about games again together, I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really neat get that they got for their conference.
Yeah, I agree.
The first thing Bethesda showed that I was hoping they would... I knew they were going to do it, but I was just hoping for something good. I've been waiting for a new Doom game for a long time. And I was pleasantly surprised with what we got.
Oh my god, it looked good. Everything looked amazing, but like the first one, the Doom, oh dear sweet Jeebus, did that look good. I mean, like just the things that you could do, the close encounter kills, the ripping people's arms off and stuff. I mean, it was so...
Ripping off dudes' legs and then kicking their face in with their own leg.
It was so overly brutal that it was amazing.
It was exactly what I wanted. I did get a kick out of it when it first started and the guys playing, and Doom's never really been well known for jumping.
Well, never been known for gameplay per se.
Well, I mean
it's been for like shooting and
other than moving
like
and shooting.
Right.
Moving and shooting is pretty much all you need in Doom. And the fact gameplay pretty much started out with a guy double jumping to a different platform.
Yeah.
And there was no crowd reaction to that. I was blown away. Like, how did no one care?
They're hazed.
This is new.
Yeah.
I did get a kick out of also the fact that they're using id Tech 6 engine on this, and then the guy said, but we like to call it the id Tech 666.
Yeah, that was a good bit. I don't know. Good play on words, but it's numbers
with Doom. I mean, it was well made, well played. Another thing that I did really like about what they showed with the gameplay is that when well, first off, I know a lot of shooters now, you get like only 2 weapons you can carry.
Right, and you swap between them.
And you use a swap between, like, oh, I found a shotgun, I'll take the shotgun, leave my assault rifle, or whatever.
Right.
You have your full arsenal, as you should in a Doom game.
Yes.
And not only do you have your full arsenal, when you're selecting the different gun, the whole game goes into slow motion. So that way, if you're trying to find, okay, I want this gun for this moment, you're not getting shot in the face while you're looking for it. Well, you have to cycle through.
I like it so much because it's not a pause. You're not completely stopping gameplay because that's unrealistic.
Well, and that would get disruptive. Like if you completely stop the gameplay every time you switched a weapon, completely stopped, I think that would start to throw you out of the game.
Yeah, it definitely would take you out of it, especially in a game like this where it's supposed to be you're in fear, you're like trying to figure out what's going to come around the next corner or something. If something came around the corner and you could just pause it, it takes you out of the fear.
There's no tense moments in the game anymore.
Yeah, you have a second to go, oh, okay, well that scared the crap out of me. Moving on.
Right.
So I'm glad it does it that way.
Yeah, I thought because it never really seemed to take the player out of the action. Like, okay, well, here's the gun that I want. They're still coming at me, and their head's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked really well, and that's a very good design choice. And
I loved how accurate the shooting was. Like when you saw a demon get shot, wherever they got shot. That's the part of the body that went away. Like you'd have other stuff hanging off. Like if you shot them on the right side, the left side of their body with the arm was still sitting there like and falling over.
There'd still be the bits of the side that didn't get as much damage. And like I know with Doom 3, the big thing was lighting. Like they loved the dark lighting. You had to choose your flashlight or your weapon, and then people made all the mods for the duct tape mod. But so this one kind of seemed like, I don't know what you would call that, like the gore effects, maybe, where like realistic bullet wound.
Yeah, it was more like if you shot a dead corpse, that's how you expect a dead corpse to react.
Yeah, I felt like that's where they put their money this time with the I can't say that word. id 6 engine. It was more, like I said, the realistic bullet wound.
Considering that you're in an unrealistic place shooting demons. But yes.
Well, but still. Mars is a real place.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's the demons on Mars real, but
I don't know. Ask The Rock. He might know.
Oh, gee. Or Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Another thing I really liked of what I saw was the classic weapons were all there. You had the double-barreled shotgun.
Yep.
You had the assault shotgun, which you could apparently turn into just a automatic firing.
Yeah, that was the mods in that were very interesting, and it seemed like you could collect and go. I didn't see him take a mod off, but I seen him put a mod on. I'm wondering if you can put it on and take it off, or once it's on,
maybe,
is it secure?
Or maybe you put it on and it's automatically always there, but you can choose to use it or not.
Well, that's what I noticed about the assault or the laser gun or whatever it was that he had, the energy blaster, because it was shooting one at a time. You put the mod on, and then it was doing the like 3 shots, successive shots,
and then
but then he went back to shooting one at a time at one point, so it might be a button thing.
Well, he was doing
like
that.
Hold the button, don't hold the button.
Well, he was doing that with the assault shotgun too. He would shoot just shotgun blast, and then he would charge it, and he could shoot like 3 blasts or something like that with the shotgun. But then he was doing just normal shots after that. So I think, like you said, you can select it or charge it or whatever. And again, the mod for the assault rifle, he attached like a grenade attachment to it at one point, I think. And he shot the grenade off, but then he was still shooting bullets when he needed to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love the weapon choice. I love they brought the chainsaw back.
Yes.
Now I do have one complaint about the kill moves or the instant kill moves and the chainsaw, and this is just me. All of the animations on the enemies there seemed to be a very limited amount of animations. Like every one of the demons that he used the chainsaw on did the exact same defensive pose.
Yeah.
And after like just the short amount of gameplay that we actually saw, I would say the same death, the instant death move animation repeated like maybe 3 or 4 times.
Well, I mean, we only seen 3 different types of enemies.
Well, somewhere around there. I mean,
we didn't see a wide variety of things, and I would imagine different enemies
have different
reactions and different stuff like that.
But the thing is with Doom is the main things you fight in mass quantities are the imps and the zombies, and then other demons are a little like the more powerful the demon, the less of them there are, just for difficulty's sake. But it just something I kind of noticed, and maybe that's something they're still working on, but it's not like a game breaking like this. It's not gonna kill the game for me. It was just something I noticed. Like my one complaint with the game, it was just a little bit too samey after a while, like the same animation over and over again. But if that's my only complaint, that's not that bad of a complaint.
And I noticed that even though it would do different stuff like that, depending on where you grabbed and stuff like that, the animations were quick.
That is true.
It wasn't like, tear this guy's leg off, and what am I going to do with it? All right, wind back, smash him in the face. Now I got to put the body down. It was like, bam, okay, done. On to the next thing.
Right.
So it's not like, even if it was repetitive, it was fast enough that you're not like going, oh my god, all right, I'm doing a kill move. Hold on.
And I've seen games like that. I think that was kind of my fear. It was going to be like that. But you were completely right. They were extremely fast paced. It's not that big a deal.
Right.
Another thing that I was really interested in with this was the snap map, where you could customize your own maps, because people have been doing that with Doom for years. Since Doom 1, they've been making their own maps. I mean, there are still people who are making Doom maps with the first Doom 1 and 2 and all that.
Well, and it's great that Bethesda can look at that and go, why don't we just do that? Why don't we just put that in as part of the game, and it'll add value to the game? And if they want to do it, they can do it.
And it was extremely just powerful looking of what you could do.
Depth.
You could add in the barrels and the boxes and the background effects and like where demons will spawn and
when they're spawned. That was the weirdest thing that I seen. Like, oh, you pick up a gun, that's going to cause this thing to spawn. I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, that was something that always happened in Doom. Like there are times where you'll walk into a room, and if you pick up this gun, that demon will spawn. But the fact that you can actually modify that on your maps.
That's crazy.
It was amazing. I thought that was a really a very well integrated touch, and I'm glad they threw it in there. And I can't wait to play this. And it comes out, spring next year?
I believe so. I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been waiting for this game since the third one, because I love Doom 3. I thought I am one of the few that I still love Doom 3. I still have good memories of Doom 3, and I'm excited about this new one. Like I had a little lack of faith when I saw that John Carmack left.
Yeah,
but that's gone.
I mean, I'll be honest, with the stuff that Bethesda is rolling out, I'm actually excited for the next 8 months of games and stuff to come out. Because, yeah, I mean, I think they did everything that they should have done at E3.
Did you watch anything about Battlecry?
Yeah, I have no desire to do that. I mean,
it just, to me, Battlecry looked very Team Fortress-y.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it looks good for what it is, but I had no interest in it.
No, it doesn't feel like I'm gonna go out and buy it.
Yeah, and I know there's you can already register to be in the beta for it, but I just have no interest.
Nah.
Another game that I am interested in is Dishonor 2.
Yeah, I love the first one. The first one felt like Fable meets Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I felt the exact same way.
And this one makes me excited again. I mean, I like playing the first one. The first one was a little bit glitchy. At least in my gameplay, I found it to be a little bit glitchy. But it's to be expected because that is a very large game. I felt like it was a very large game. There was a lot to do, a lot that you could do. So I'm very excited for Dishonor 2.
Yeah, I am too, and I remember from what they said that you can play as two different characters, and they both characters play extremely differently from one another.
Yeah,
I think that's an interesting touch because in the first game you can only play as the one character.
But you could choose to be kind of like in Deus Ex and different stuff like that. You could choose to be stealthy or a killer.
And they also said that with this game too. They said you can go through the entire game without killing anyone.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if that means like with either character, or if one character's more attuned to stealth and the other's more attuned to just killing everybody.
Right.
Or you can you pick your character who already plays differently, then you customize them even further into either way that you want to go.
Right.
That I'm not sure, but I mean, just the fact that they give you that choice, and that makes you want to be able to replay the game. Like, okay, I played through the game as this character doing this. Now I can go back as this character doing that.
Yeah.
And I like games that do that.
Well, and if it's anything like the first one, like I said, there's enough storyline and stuff that you could have missed depending on how you played it that you will want to play it again.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. And I know they announced the Dishonor Definitive Edition. That's all the DLC. I believe it's all been updated for the new consoles. So again, that's one of those things. I'm not huge on remakes. I mean, if I've already played through the first one, I don't need to play through it again just with better looking environments or whatever.
No, and as long as they make it backwards compatible for that game, then I'll just play Dishonored on
exactly.
that.
So again, if you've never played Dishonored, I can see why you would want to do it this way, but nah, it's not. That one's not for me.
Nah.
What about either of the Elder Scrolls games they announced? I think they announced some updates to online, like maps and stuff, and then the Elder Scrolls card game.
But the card game, it's such a weird thing to announce at an E3. So weird. I mean, I guess if you've got the stage, might as well. But that is so weird to be like, oh, and we've got this cool card game.
Yeah, I could care less about it. I'm not a huge, I could care less about Elder Scrolls Online just in general. I've never played it. I don't plan on to ever playing it. So yeah, that again, I kind of just almost tuned out during that.
Yeah.
And then I think, that was the end of the Bethesda conference, wasn't it?
Well, they joked around about it. He was like, that's it. We covered everything, right?
Oh, wait. You want more? What? Fallout? Oh.
No Fallout.
No, I thought it was cool that they had Todd Howard come out and talk about Fallout.
Yeah.
And the game just looks amazing.
It looks damn good.
It is. I don't even. The fact that they said they started building this game right after Fallout 3 came out, so that means they've been working on it for at least
4 years.
I was thinking 4 years. And they said, we've been a little busy working on some Skyrim games, so we haven't had a lot of time to talk about Fallout.
Yeah, that's understandable. Skyrim was awesome too.
And I remember that like they just showed a ton of concept art. Like that was the very.
Oh yeah, it was just cycling through all the concept art.
And like, oh, this looks really good. Oh wait, there it actually is. And
yeah, I like that it transitioned.
Yeah, it was just boom. And another thing that I thought was really cool is we start this game before the bombs. And remember, we in our podcast that we had earlier,
we wanted that.
We talked about that. We're like, give us gameplay before the bombs fell. And they listened.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how much of it is. Like, do you design your character and then, talk to the Vault Tech guy? But it seemed like they cut quite a bit out. Like, they cut straight to running to the vault.
Right. So I'm hoping they cut a bunch out. But, I mean, maybe that is all it is.
Maybe it's not. But either way, that's awesome. I love that you're a guy that... Or if this Vault Tech guy comes to the door, I love that you slam the door in the guy's face. That is awesome.
That's a choice, though. You don't have to do that. You can be nice to him if you want, or you can slam the door. But no, the character creation screen was just genius. You're standing in a mirror.
It looks so good.
You're standing in front of a mirror, and in real time, you're sculpting what you want yourself to look like.
Well, and it's not
sliders.
Yeah, and it's not like a list that you're picking from. It's you actually like touch it. And then touch it until you find like how you want it to be, and then, I thought that was excellent. Obviously, you can play as a female now, which is cool.
Well, you can do that in Fallout 3.
Well, I know, but like a little bit more in depth.
It seems to matter more.
Yeah,
and like you said, more in depth. I mean, just how you can create what your character looks like. It looks so much better than any game I've ever seen do that before.
Oh, not to mention that the robot says your friggin' name.
Yeah. With this, I have a number here written.
Howard or whatever.
Over 1,000 names were recorded. 1,000 popular names were recorded, so that way
Lord.
It will talk to you with your real name. Now, I wonder if that's the only thing in the game that does that.
I would think not. I mean, if you've put it in there, then might as well, like, as much as you can possibly find. Like, I would imagine any main character thing is going to say your name. So anything that's directly involved with the main storyline.
Well, I was kind of wondering that, or maybe like because they'd still have to get all of those voice actors to say all of those names. But so maybe they did limit it down to just your little butler robot. But I don't know. I would not be surprised at this point if
Codsworth.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at this point if all, like you said, the main story characters do know your name.
Right.
Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting, because we also talked about this, was the main character, does say the lines that you tell, like that you get kind of like a vague
dumbed down version.
Yeah, you get the vague version, and then he actually says what he goes off of that and actually says some kind of a statement, and it's all done through voice.
Yeah, and like me and you were talking on the podcast before this, when they first came out with the preview, that's what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted. We wanted something that, like, it says yes or no, but when you click on yes, it's like, yes, I would really like to do that, but I don't have time for you right now, or something stupid like that. I mean, that's exactly what I want.
Well, and going more on the dialogue, Howard was saying that none of the dialogue is locked. Like,
you can just walk away.
Yeah, at any point during a conversation with someone, you can just leave or shoot them or whatever. Yeah. And it doesn't matter.
Now, did you notice that the dialogue changed colors? There was one thing that had a yellow.
Yellow. I'm not sure what that meant. I don't know if that was like a certain, like, this is aggressive or neutral or...
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping is that it'll give you different colors based on how that answer is. Because if it says yes or no, you may not know how that's going to affect the person that you're talking with. But if you were to say the yes one to a bad question, maybe that's going to be offensive to the person you're talking to, so that one's in red.
Right.
Because that will cause that person to become irate and not like you.
Exactly.
And the whole thing with Fallout...
that's just a hostile response or something.
And the whole thing with Fallout 3 in New Vegas was you had the karma, that different places liked you, different places would hate you. Maybe that's what that's in league with, is that the more red choices you do, that faction of people are going to hate you more because you're being more aggressive to them, or something along those lines.
That was what I kind of thought it was going to be, or think it is. I'm not. Obviously, no one knows. I don't think they talk about it at all. But that's my thoughts on it as well. It's like the closer to red, the more aggressive the dialogue will be.
Yeah.
Another thing they showed is the dog. Which
dog meat.
Yeah, I wonder if that's who it's going to be like. I don't think they ever gave it a name.
You gotta call it dog meat. I think it's what you called and everything else.
Yeah, I say
I'm sure you probably get to name the dog, but you could probably default to dog meat.
Well, I like that you can give it commands. Like you can like point it into a building, like, hey, go give me that wrench, and it goes and gets it for you.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that. Did you hear? And I read this somewhere, so I don't know if it's actual fact or not. But I read somewhere your dog can't die.
Oh, I hope so. Because
I read that somewhere, which makes me think that maybe they're going along the lines of what me and you talked about, where you're going to have a second player, a partner that can go with you, because that would always piss me off. I'd go in someplace and my partner would die, and like you needed them to unlock something, and it's like, I traveled all this way, now I have to go back into a save state, and this is frustrating.
I learned very quickly on in that game is save often.
Yeah, and in different slots.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Rotate your slots, kids.
Yep. So, yeah, I read that somewhere and I was like, oh my god, thank you. Please, I don't want to have my dog die 500 times in the process of playing this game.
Exactly the same. And the dog seems so crucial to the story.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know they did this in Fallout 3. Like, you could not kill main characters.
Yeah.
They would just get knocked out.
Yeah.
So maybe the dog never can die, it just gets knocked out.
And
maybe,
you gotta give it a dog biscuit or something.
Or maybe it's out of the action for like a minute or two and can't do anything.
You have to send it back home and it's gotta be there for a certain amount of time
something
before
like
it can come
that.
back.
Right. I mean, if that is true, and it makes sense that it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I hope that's the case. I'm really glad that VATS is back.
Yeah, but it's different. It's not stop time.
Yeah, it slows time.
Yeah.
Which is perfect.
It goes back to what we were talking about with Doom. Like, it doesn't take you out of the action. You can't, like, go into VATS and then, like, walk away from your screen because stuff will keep happening.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I've noticed, like, in Fallout 3, this would happen to me every so often. I would have an enemy in view. I would hit the VATS button, and there's a slight delay from when you hit the button
to when he would move.
And all of a sudden, he would move behind cover, and I'd have a 0% chance on every single limb of his body. And
But I've already shot.
And it's like, well, now I have to get out of VATS and move position.
Yeah.
Where with this, you can wait. You can, like, okay, well, he's behind cover. I'll just wait.
In VATS, yeah.
Yeah, in the new VATS. I don't know how long VATS might last.
Yeah, it might start taking down the longer you're in VATS.
Right.
I don't know.
But still, it gives you a little bit of time to get your shot where you want it if it's not already there.
By the way, can I talk about how realistic the friggin' mole rats looked? They come out of the ground, which was awesome.
Well, the rat scorpions did too.
Yeah. So it seems like things are hidden. You're not going to know they're there before they're there. Like before, you had a radar and you could kind of see, like, oh, there's a red stripe. There's enemies right there. I'm going to be able to look for them and stuff like that.
Now I know it's been a few days since I've actually watched that. The conference. I know there was the compass. Was there the dots showing up?
I don't remember. I didn't look for him when he was fighting the.
Yeah,
as soon as the mole rats came out, I was like, "Oh my god, those look good."
Yeah, I think I did the same thing, and I don't remember if they showed up on your compass or not. So that's actually I need to go back and look at that. So I'm curious if that's still in the game.
Yeah.
They did announce that this is the most massive map they've ever made, which took away my theory that this was going to be about the same size of Fallout 3.
Nope.
That shattered. Which I guess is good. It's bad for me, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing as long as there's stuff in it, and I don't doubt that Bethesda's going to know how to put stuff in it.
Oh yeah, they always do.
I've seen games where they'll have a giant map and then it's empty.
Yeah.
And Bethesda, I've never seen a Bethesda game that did that.
No.
So I don't think we have anything to worry about, so that's good, and it's gonna take me forever to get through this game, but whatever, it's still good. I like that they talked about that there's a layered armor system. I'm curious how that's gonna work.
I would imagine you'll be able to put on like light clothes and then have armor on top of that. I would imagine it's only going to be 2 to 3 layers.
I wouldn't think it would go too in depth.
Well, and like your head, I mean, I can't imagine you wearing more than one thing on your head.
Helmets.
Yeah, it's like stacked. You got to balance it as you walk. You know.
Now, something I did notice in all the gameplay that we saw in Fallout 3, and I think New Vegas did this. Down on your ammo, or when you have your weapon out and you got your ammo on your HUD, there would be your weapon condition meter.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Me neither.
So I wonder if they took that out, or if it's just on your Pip-Boy. That's the only place you can see it.
It makes sense that they took it out for the simple fact that they're making everything, and I do mean everything, scrappable. So like if your condition goes down and you need steel, well, you're just going to walk into a town and destroy it to make everything perfect. So I could definitely see where they're like, let's just take that out.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. I was kind of glad to see that the condition thing was gone. So, well, at least off the HUD. So maybe because I hated that in Fallout 3. Like it was realistic, but I hated it because I would have my weapon. I'm the type of person in this type of game. I would have my main weapon, and I would use it the most. Well, I'd start to run out of parts for it because you'd have to repair it with like weapons. And
right.
If you weren't in an area that had like weapons, you couldn't repair your gun.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and your gun would lose durability
fast,
pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they took it out. If they didn't, it's not that big a deal. But I was just kind of hopeful when I saw that there was no condition meter on the HUD at least.
Yeah.
But speaking of Pip-Boy, they're making a real Pip-Boy for this game.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking sweet.
And it works. Like, you can plug you download an app onto your phone, put your phone in this thing, and then
it Bluetooth connects to your machine so that it can actually show you your Pip-Boy stuff.
Yeah. And they said even if you don't buy the stupid little Pip-Boy... I don't quote me on this. I heard it's, what, $125? For the Pip-Boy
well, it's I was about to say it comes with the game and all that stuff.
Which isn't it terrible?
No, I mean double the cost of the game basically.
Yeah, but I mean that's not. Like I said, it's not terrible. It's not ideal. I mean, I don't know if I'd go for it.
Well, here's the thing: if they say, okay, you get Pip-Boy game season pass, nah, I'm down. Give it to me.
Maybe.
I want it.
Yeah, that might get. Yeah, that might do it. But if it's just game Pip-Boy.
Probably
I don't need the Pip-Boy.
Well, especially since you can download it without it.
Yeah, you can use your phone as the same thing. You don't actually have to have it in the Pip-Boy for it to work.
You just don't have a sweet
Pip-Boy
arm thing.
Oh, yeah, because I'm going to wear that out.
In public?
Yeah.
Be like, look at this. I'm from the future.
Yeah. But also with apps on phones. James, why don't you tell them about what they did?
Oh, the game that I'm horribly addicted to right now called Fallout Shelter, which is basically just a Sims game with Fallout things in it.
Fallout Sims.
Oh my god, I'm so friggin' addicted to this stupid game. You don't have to pay for anything though. It's great.
Well, you can if you want.
You can buy. You don't buy specific things though. You buy a lunchbox which has random things in it.
But you don't even have to do that because there's each day has challenges, and if you accomplish one of the challenges, you get
lunchboxes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of playing through the game to get what you want. But I'm so friggin' addicted to this. There's so much stuff to do in it. The more dwellers you get, the more stuff you can build. The more stuff you can build, the more dwellers will come. And it's just like, oh my god, I don't ever want to turn my phone off. So I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I love that you don't have to pay for anything. I love that even if a character dies in it, you can bring them back with caps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is just like in the Wasteland. If you die, you just go back to your last save spot. Yeah. So, I mean, cool. I cannot lose anybody if I don't want to.
Now, I don't have an iPhone, so I have yet to play this game, but I did hear it's coming on Android.
Yeah, I heard in a couple months.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got to wait a little bit, but
and then you can be addicted like me. Woo!
Yeah, we'll get nothing done on the channel.
Oh, yeah, we will. We'll just play it while we're doing it.
Like you've been during the last couple podcasts?
I don't know what you're talking about. My phone's sitting over there patiently waiting for me to mess with it, calling my name. James. But I chose to get come play.
Another thing you can do on your Pip-Boy that they showed us is you can actually play like retro-style
mini games. Yeah. How did they get away with putting Donkey Kong onto the Pip-Boy? It's Donkey Kong. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, it's Donkey Kong.
What's the other one? Like Missile Control or something?
Yeah, it's Asteroid.
I get it.
What's it called? I can't even think of it. But I mean, it's these old retro games that have been around for years, and it's just there's no point to it being there. It's just a time waster.
Okay, but think about that. Okay, say you're out and about and you've got the Pip-Boy app on your phone. That means you can pull up those games on your phone and play them.
Potentially, unless your system has to be on and it's connected all through that.
No, it can't be.
All right.
Well, maybe it is.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
What else did they show?
You want to build a town?
Oh yeah, you can build a town if you want to.
Build lots of towns. And they said, like, I like that they said, like, well, there's going to be towns that are basically made for you to go and inhabit, but you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, if you don't like the town we built, You build it. And then they started showing this guy who's playing the game, and he's just placing down structures. Like, he's doing walls, and then he starts putting down chairs, and he's putting, like, shelves in, and with things on the shelves.
Yeah.
And
it looked very fluid, too.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't look like you were, like, cycling through a bunch of stuff, like, oh, I gotta find this chair. Where the hell is this chair in my list?
And then, okay, so you've built this town, and it's not just a house. Like, I'm figuring, okay, you can build your own house, because, like, in Fallout 3, you've got your house in Megaton and all that.
Yeah.
And like, okay, you can build your house. And he's like, no, you can build your whole own town.
Yeah.
And there's multiple towns that you can build.
There's bobbleheads, too.
Oh, there's bobbleheads. Well, yeah.
They showed that because he put his bobblehead stand, and I was like, oh, there's bobbleheads!
But, so you can build your own town. So that's nice. You've got it's not just one town. You can have sets of towns.
Yeah.
But you need lights in your towns, don't you?
Yeah, you can make a generator and make, like, wires coming off of it and stuff like that.
You have to wire up your town.
Yeah, and then you can do different things and build different things and light different things, and then, you can defend your town.
Yeah, because if you have all these lights, won't that cause, raiders to come? Yeah, well, yeah, it does. So you have to build the fence to your town.
I love the one that he showed was that it was like a bottleneck into a giant thing of just flamethrowers.
And
they have to run through the flamethrowers.
It's like a bottleneck flavethrower with machine guns on the other end. And it's just like, there's no chance.
No chance.
And you have to build crops and water supplies so that people come to your town, because you can set up trading posts. And they said those traders will have the best items in the game.
Yeah, that's amazing. So basically you have to build a town if you want the best items, which means that you're going to consume all of your life at this game. You're basically going to live in Fallout 4. That's how that's going to go.
But the best part about all this is you don't have to do it.
No, you don't have to.
It is completely optional. They said, yeah, you can just stick with what we already have.
Yeah.
But you can do it. And on that note, Fallout 3 and Vegas, both tons of just random items throughout that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The paperweight. Why do I want to pick up a fucking paperweight?
Or just anything. I mean, and most of them didn't really have a use.
No. Some of them you could start to scrap for lead and stuff like that, but
or some of them. Well, I mean, there was the ammo, and then there was like the you could
ammo
find
cases,
the schematics for different guns, and then you could start you would find the railroad spikes, and you could use them, and then the darts and all that. But I would say like 90% of the stuff, maybe
burn books. Why the fuck do you need to pick up a burn book? Exactly. I don't want a burn book.
No, they had no use.
Yep.
Now they do.
Yep.
Everything in the game has a use, because you can customize your guns in just absurd amount of ways.
And I love that it's not you have to find this one thing that connects to this one thing that connects to this one thing, and that's the only way you can get the mod. It's like you can pick one of 6 things and one of 4 things and one of 7 things, and as long as you have one of all of those,
you're good.
You're good.
That's amazing. And there's the amount of weapons that you can make.
Yeah.
Because I said, if you want to make this scope, you can make this scope. Or if you want to make this pistol, you can make this pistol. But you can make it a repeating pistol.
Yeah.
Or turn that repeating pistol into a repeating sniper rifle. Or make that repeating... And it just keeps going.
Yeah, they showed like 60 seconds of the guy just like flipping through all the options on that one gun. And I'm like, oh dear God.
And they gave a number. Apparently I didn't write it down. But they gave a number of how many... What was I think they said like there was 20 base guns and like hundreds of options for each or something like that.
It's in the tens of thousands is the amount of options that you can choose to do. So I'm so excited for this friggin' game. I cannot wait, and we don't have to wait that long.
Yeah,
November.
Yeah, November.
That's all we gotta wait for. So don't expect to hear from me in November. We'll still be doing the podcast, but I might be playing Fallout 4 while we're doing the podcast. All of our videos will be set back to Fallout 4 playing in the background.
Pretty much. Yeah, I could see that happening. And maybe they might do some Fallout 4 videos. Who knows?
Yeah, we could.
That might happen.
That'd be a very long...
it might not be an entire...
strand of videos.
But yeah, so we're both extremely excited about what Bethesda especially has, and some of the other companies as well.
Yeah.
We'd like to hear what you guys... What games were you the most excited about? Who do you think, other than Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, who gave the best presentation? Who had the most exciting announcements, most exciting games?
And was there anything that you thought that these companies were going to talk about that they didn't? Were you expecting to hear about a game that didn't end up showing up?
yeah, so let us know, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IdiotSpeak podcast number 8, part 2.
Part 2.
Today we're going to continue our E3 discussion, and we're going to talk about Microsoft and